The war in Ukraine is entering a new phase. The referendum, so to speak, termed as a sham by Ukraine and the West are now over. And to be honest, the results are a foregone conclusion. The backlash has now begun. Zelensky, for one, has vowed to defend Ukrainians. The US and its allies are condemning Russia. They are now planning to move the UN Security Council. Russia is responding with nuclear threats. So are we headed towards a dangerous escalation? Let's begin by telling you the latest. Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia and Kherson. These are the four regions that saw these so-called referendums. And apparently, all four want to join Russia. And here are the results. Luhansk, 98%. Zaporizhia, 93%. Kherson, 87%. Donetsk, a whopping 99%. All votes in favor of joining Russia. The result was on expected lines, so was the reaction from Russia. Here is how the Speaker of the Russian Parliament broke the news to the lawmakers.
Let's congratulate our brothers, everybody who participated in the vote to join Russia. The referendums were held successfully.
And right after that, the separatist leaders from these regions that held a referendum spoke out as well. Their statements weren't a whole lot different. Listen in.
For more than 3,000 days, we fought for the right to be a part of Russia, to return to our home and to be with our true homeland. We succeeded. This is our common national victory.
Dear Russian President, I am addressing you on behalf of the people of the Luhansk region. Taking into account the fact that the population of the Republic approved the decision in the referendum, I ask you to consider the issue of Luhansk People's Republic becoming a part of Russia as a subject of the Russian Federation.
And finally, we heard from the Kremlin too. The Russian government has spelled out its intentions. It wants to continue the offensive. Russia says its final goal is to seize all of Ukraine's Donetsk region. Listen in.
Not all the territory of the Donetsk People's Republic has been liberated yet. We are talking about the territory within the borders as of 2014. So we need to liberate at least all the territory of the Donetsk People's Republic. Meanwhile, the whole of the Luhansk People's Republic has been liberated.
So it is all going to plan according to Russia. So what will happen after these so-called referendums? What will Vladimir Putin do next? Well, the past offers us some clues. When Russia annexed Crimea, similar events unfolded. After the military offensive, a referendum vote was called. And again, the result threw up no surprises whatsoever. More than 95% of the votes were in favor of annexation. Russia took control of Crimea. Moscow celebrated the move as a big win. Even though the international community refused to accept this vote, something similar, as we can see, is happening right now. The Western world has unanimously declared the vote a sham. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky was quick to issue a warning to Moscow. Take a look.
We will act to protect our people, both in the Kherson region, in the Zaporizhia region, in the Donbass, in the currently occupied areas of the Kharkiv region, and in the Crimea.
The Western response was also on similar lines. The US has declared that the West will never recognize a Russian annexation. NATO denounced the referendums too. It called the vote a sham and a violation of international law. These statements of condemnation are honestly a standard operating procedure, no surprises whatsoever. But my question is, what can the West do? Can it do anything tangible? How does it plan to counter Russia's moves? Well, Western powers have nothing new to offer here too. A resolution has been brought before the UN Security Council. America, of course, is spearheading this effort. So what does the resolution say? It will condemn Russia's sham referendums, call on member states to not recognize the status of Ukraine, and obligate Russia to withdraw its troops from Ukraine. Similar moves were made when Crimea was annexed. A resolution was brought before the Security Council. What do you think happened then to that resolution? Well, Russia, as a permanent member of the Security Council, vetoed it. So essentially, it amounted to nothing. Yes, such resolutions are a useful tool to humiliate Russia on the international stage, but beyond that, they have failed to deter Russia. And deterrence is the need of the hour. Moscow is making fresh nuclear threats. An ally of Vladimir Putin has described what a nuclear attack on Ukraine would look like. I'm talking about Dmitry Medvedev, the former president of Russia, now a deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council. He is saying Russia's nuclear threats are not a bluff. Listen to his statements carefully now. Let's imagine that Russia is forced to use the most powerful weapon against the Ukrainian regime. I believe that NATO would not directly interfere in the conflict, even in this scenario. The demagogues across the ocean and in Europe are not going to die in a nuclear apocalypse. I'm quoting. Just think about those words. It's a warning to not just Kiev, but the West too. Wherever this goes, one thing is for certain now. The war in Ukraine is about to intensify. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.